So practice, 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 practice. I know you'd practice normally if you were speaking to a face-to-face audience, so you'd practice so that you have notes and you don't necessarily are reading from the notes, right? But you also need to practice just because it's much more obvious on a screen if you're looking down. Like in person, at least they see your face and your body, right? But when you're looking down, it's very obvious, trust me. So it seems as if you have to basically know what you're talking about, know your speech more so that it is virtual. So practice with a mirror, practice with a phone, anything with a screen. So just get used to talking in front of it. Many persons believe that, because it's a virtual space, persons aren't nervous, but trust me, they are. There's this thing that's called camera shy. It's not a joke. A lot of persons are unable to speak in front of the camera, and that's because of what they are projecting. They're projecting that nervousness. They don't really know if what they're saying comes out as eloquently as they'd want it to. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes, the better you become, the less self-conscious you become. Next, work on your face. Now, I want you to just admit in your heart that I am very engaging, that I am most definitely, expressive in my face and my tone. Now, I really want to share something with you that I don't necessarily share with a lot of people, but I am very monotonous. I can speak on a monotone constantly. Let me show you my monotone. I can really speak on a monotone, and sometimes it just gets very lazy. Like what I'm talking, it just gets very lazy and it really loses the audience. As opposed to, I speak with a monotone sometimes and it gets really lazy and it can definitely lose the audience. But I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. So you have to work on intonation. You have to work on your face. You need to do some exercises in the mirror if you're that bad, to really, smile when you're talking, to be expressive, to actually, show that you're engaged, to lean forward so that persons really see that, you're engaging with what you're talking about, you're passionate about it. You put in little tones here and there so that persons can realize maybe if they're drifting off, to wake up. So it is more important when you're doing it in a virtual space to capture the audience with your face and with your tone, because whereby you can use gimmicks when you're in face-to-face, or whereby you can just literally capture the attention of somebody through eye contact and force them to listen to you and to look at you. You cannot do that on the virtual space. You don't know if they're going to be muting you anyway. So you have to definitely work on your tone so that you draw people in just by the very nature of your voice, whatever they're seeing, your body language up here, and your face. And on the topic of actually working on your face, you definitely need to work on your humor. I know some persons have some dry wit and it comes naturally to them. Some persons feel like they're funny and they definitely aren't. But let me tell you something. You see, if you run a little joke and it not reach, but it kinda reach, but it not reach, it's better than not running a joke at all, right? Because honestly, at least persons will be engaged in it. They may laugh, or they may be, oh, that corny, or that stale, or that never reach. But at least it garners some sort of, what do you call it? It garners some sort of expression, engagement, and that is really what you want. Now, if it is that you are not necessarily the joke person, then left it. Nobody worry with that. Nobody try to insert a joke and none of them something. You understand? But you have to compensate for with something else. Are you going to inject more emotion? Are you going to inject some relatable stories? So you definitely need to add something to the entire essence of your presentation, your being. You definitely need to add a little fluff, a little salt, sprinkle a little salt, yeah. One of the more important things is know where to look. Know your screen. Let me show you a tangible example. Do you realize that I'm not looking at you? Do you realize that I am looking to this side? Because there's a tricky thing with the camera. The tricky thing with the camera is that, well, I'm using a Canon camera. I'm looking at you now. I'm using a Canon camera, but I'm actually using the preview section to actually ensure that I'm in the frame, my head is not cut off. But at the same time, I cannot be looking at that camera because I'll definitely lose your attention. I'll definitely lose the connection that I have with you right now. As opposed to, I'll definitely lose the connection that I have with you right now. Do you realize that I'm not looking at the camera? But I'm seeing, what I'm seeing here is myself. Myself is here. So I have to divorce myself from that image and look straight at the lens right here, straight at you. So you have to know where to look. And I see a lot of persons publish videos and they're looking left, right, but never center. But you have to know where to look. If it hit you one time, don't make it hit you again. Once bitten, twice damn fool, as Charmaine Henry, may her soul rest in peace, used to say. If you realize that you made a mistake one time, don't make it again. Ensure that you do some dry runs to say, where should I look? The next point is you have to ensure that the environment is well lit. You don't want a distraction for yourself, but you don't want to be a distraction to other people, where persons are literally fighting to see you, where all they see is your teeth because the place is so dark. You have to be in a well lit environment. And I am right now in my living room because this is one of the best lighting, natural lighting that I'll get. There is the selfie stick with the light, the selfie light, but you have to be, I don't believe it's made for persons with glasses, because you'll see the double rings reflected in the light, and that in your lens, and that in and of itself is distracting. So you have to ensure that you have proper lighting. It doesn't necessarily have to be selfie ring, or it doesn't have to be like the natural lighting like I'm using, but it has to be a lighting where persons are able to see your face, see the emotions, see you just peeking and expressing yourself without fighting to see that. So you have to ensure that you put a little thought in it, and it goes back to the point of being prepared, where you're actually doing some dry runs to say, is this the best place to be? How does this look? How does my background look? So this is where our next group activity falls in. So I want you to form groups of 2, and I want you to actually write a paragraph about yourself. So just write a paragraph about why you're here, to why you're attending this internship, how you felt about being chosen, and what you wish to learn from the internship. So I want you to do that. And please take 5 minutes to do that. It's not long. It's not something that needs to be long, but all right, maybe I should give you 10 minutes. Okay, take 10 minutes to do it. And after that 10 minutes, I want you to present it to your partner. I want you to present it in 2 ways. In a monotone, and I want you to present it using different intonations, different pauses, different expressions with your face, and I really want you to see the impact of it. I really want you to see the effect of really diversifying your face and your speech, slowing down and speeding up, and really, you know, being expressive with your body and engaging with every single aspect of what you have to work with. So I want you to take 10 minutes to write that paragraph, and then another 10 minutes to present it for each person. So that should run you like 30 minutes.